Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. Today it is Isabela on the class, earlier than usual, earlier than yesterday for sure. 6 hours earlier than yesterday, actually. Ooh, okay. Yeah, today we are doing Bhagavad-gita. Where is it? No, I don't like the. Oh, okay, wait, give me a sec. Today we are doing Bhagavad-gita chapter 4, verse 31. Exciting, right? Yeah. Okay, so let us start with the good old Sanskrit. Nāyaṁ asti ayajñasya kuto kuru-sattama. Short Sanskrit bit. Never ayam, this loka planet asti, there is ayajñasya of the foolish, kutaḥ, where is anyaḥ, the other, kuru-sattama, O best amongst kurus. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? Okay. Purport. Whatever form of material existence one is in, one is invariably ignorant of his real situation. In other words, existence in the material world is due to the multiple reactions of our sinful lives. Ignorance is the cause of sinful life, and sinful life is the cause of one's dragging on in material existence. The human form of life is the only loophole by which one may get out of this entanglement. The Vedas, therefore, give us a chance for escape by pointing out the paths of religion, economic comfort, regulated sense gratification, and at last the means to get out of the miserable condition entirely. The path of religion, or the different kinds of sacrifice recommended above, automatically solves our economic problems. By the performance of yajña, we have enough food, enough milk, etc. Even if there is a so-called increase in population. When the body is fully supplied, naturally the next stage is to satisfy the senses. The Vedas prescribe, therefore, sacred marriage for regulated sense gratification. Thereby, one is gradually elevated to the platform of release from material bondage, and the highest perfection of liberated life is to associate with the Supreme Lord. Perfection is achieved by the performance of yajña, sacrifice, as described above. Now, if a person is not inclined to perform yajña according to the Vedas, how can he expect a happy life? There are different grades of material comforts in different heavenly planets, and in all cases there is immense happiness for persons engaged in the different kinds of yajña. But the highest kind of happiness that a man can achieve is to be promoted to the spiritual planets by practice of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. A life of Kṛṣṇa consciousness is therefore the solution to all problems of material existence. Cool. Let us now go on to the differences. Oh, okay. There's barely any differences. Thank Kṛṣṇa. Keeping the class short. Woohoo. Let's see if we have anyone watching. Oh, one viewer. Oh, yo, what's up, man? Okay. What's going on? Sorry, my cat's growling at something. I don't know what she's growling at, but she's under my bed right now. All right. So our first change that we must address, and our only change that we must address, is the as described above. Now, if a person is not inclined to perform yajña according to the Vedas, how can he expect a happy life? There are many different grades of comforts in different heavenly planets, and in all cases there is immense happiness. Sorry, I got that wrong. So, there are different grades of material comforts in different heavenly planets, and in all cases there is immense happiness for persons engaged in different kinds of yajña. And that has been changed to even... Oh, I'm going to have to do a long... Okay, so, sorry. Third time is a charm. Now, if a person is not inclined to perform yajña according to the Vedas, how can he expect a happy life? ? There are different grades of material comforts in different heavenly planets, and in all cases there is immense happiness for persons engaged in all different kinds of yajña. But the highest kind of happiness... Hello, cat. Okay, so all right, that's it. Sorry. And then in the Jayavita Swami's one, the second edition, it is, now if a person is not inclined to perform yajña according to the Vedas, how can he expect a happy life even in this body, and not to speak of another body on another planet? There are different grades of material comforts in heavenly planets. Okay. Okay. I don't like the changes, like the one word changes, easy peasy lemon squeezy, you get through it easy. But the whole sentence changes, it's like, ugh, especially when they like mix it around. So it's like a different sentence put in a different spot, and then they put another sentence below it that's completely new, and then it continues. Yeah, sorry, it's weird, but okay. Okay, so whew. Let's first check why they made this change. Huh? Okay. Oh, yeah, we have original manuscript, happy life even in this body, and what to speak of another body, which are always seeking in search of eternal blissful life on other planets. Omitted text restored here was also included in the 1968 abridged edition. Okay. Let's check if this is true by checking the original manuscript. Happy life even in this body, and what to speak of another body. Planets on other heaven. Okay. I see what they did. So they did take it closer to the original manuscript. Correct. They did that. They did what they promised to do, which sometimes they just don't do. It's like, that doesn't seem like a I went back to the original manuscript change. That seems like I thought it was better change. You've got something on your ear, bro. What's that? You've got a piece of mud on your ear. Okay, sorry. There's a cat there. I'm not looking at my bed and being like, yo, you've got dirt on you. Sorry. But I personally like the second edition for this one, because in the first edition it's like, how can he expect a happy life if not inclined to perform yajña according to the Vedas? And then it goes straight to, there are different grades of material comforts in different heavenly planets. It's like, okay. But in the second edition, it's even in this, how perform yajña according to the Vedas, how can you expect a happy life even in this body, and what to expect of another body on another planet? Sorry, I'm confused now. I mean, I sort of see why Hayagriva changed it. Like, they're saying, even in this body, and what to speak of another body on another planet, it's sort of, it makes it seem like a speech. Well, technically, are the purports meant to be speeches? Because I know the Bhagavad-gita itself, like the verses, the translation, the verses and the Sanskrit, like it's a long speech song sort of thing. But I'm not sure whether the purports are meant to be like a speech or not, because I don't know like the format, and I'm not going to talk about the format because my mind will blow up, and yep. Maybe I'll start discussing it when I get to year 12 or something. Okay. Well, they did what they said they were going to do. And I mean, Prabhupada did authorize it to be changed to the first edition, and then they changed it to the second edition. It's like, why did you do that? Why did he take it back to the manuscript, which when Prabhupada authorized changes for the first edition? Like, what are you saying? Are you saying that they're like, oh, it's for grammar? Okay, I understand the grammar changes. Got no problem with that. But like the changes where they like completely add in new bits of writing, and even if it's not going, and if they don't like copy it from the original manuscript, it's just like a completely new ass thing. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Yeah. I don't know what to do to address that change. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I see it personally as the same thing. Oh, we have a comment. Ian Daniel, I don't understand the reference to the other planets. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Like, why reference it to another planet? Like, life on another planet. Like, okay. Okay, and sorry, yeah. But it's kind of weird. I don't understand it. It's like another body on another planet is like happy life in general, happy life, like life on another planet, life on this planet, life somewhere else, life, I don't know, as a bug or something. Happy, what to speak of another body on another planet is like, was that really necessary? Like, they took it closer to Srila Prabhupada's manuscript, yes. But then again, Srila Prabhupada did authorize the changes that Hayagriva made. He asked Hayagriva, I'm pretty sure. Fact check me on this. I'm not 100% sure. But he asked Hayagriva to edit it to get all those spelling corrections. And Hayagriva made more changes. And Srila Prabhupada, he didn't necessarily read over all of them, but he authorized them. He trusted Hayagriva. And he didn't ask Jayadvaita Swami to re-edit his books. Srila Prabhupada says, do not change my books. I can pull up the quotes on me, but he says, do not change my books. And here's Jayadvaita changing his books, like for grammar and stuff. Hayagriva did that. And like, I can tell languages change over time. Like, some words that would be now considered Old English will be made into new words that some people might not be able to understand the old words, if you get what I mean. But like, Hayagriva took care of that. And yeah, it's interesting. It's weird. I don't necessarily like it that much. Like, it's not about what I like or what I dislike, because it's just the fact that they went against Srila Prabhupada's wishes, and then they claim to be doing it. Like, I'm not going to go down that path, because I'm just going to lose myself, and I'll like start spitting out random facts, and then it's like, okay, Isabella, is that 100% true? I don't know. I've heard them before, but do I know if it's true? Have I fact checked them? No, I have not. So I'm not going to go down there, because I don't want to get sued or something or whatever. You can't sue people in New Zealand, but you can press charges and lawsuits. So that's the equivalent. Okay, so let's look at the meaning and the contemporary application. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? Okay, I sort of see why they changed it now. Because in this translation, it talks about how you can't live happily on this planet or in this life. What about the next life on possibly another planet? Like, I see why they brought back the original manuscript for that bit, but was it authorized? No, it was not. And you may think it's better, and it may seem better, but was it authorized by Srila Prabhupada? No. Then why do it? Like, everybody might think it's better, but it wasn't authorized by Srila Prabhupada. Like, for example, maybe, I don't know, some people were thinking about, I'm going to go smoke some weed. Example, Facebook or YouTube, please don't cancel me. But, and then it wasn't authorized by people, and it's like, oh, wait, why can't we smoke the weed? It's like, because it's not good for you, bro. And no, I'm just going on a random thing. I'm waffling again. I'm just going to go straight to the meaning. Okay. A best of the Kuru dynasty, who is best of the Kuru dynasty? Arjuna. Arjuna is the best of the Kuru dynasty. So he's talking to Arjuna. Yeah. Without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. So without sacrificing sense gratification and things like meat, eggs, alcohol, drugs, illicit sex, all of those things, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. So your life on this planet. And what then of the next? If you can't sacrifice, if you can't be happy because you're not sacrificing, and you're getting karma by doing those things, what's going to happen in the next life? Because I'm pretty sure your karma carries on to the next life too. So if you can't be happy in this life because you can't sacrifice, what about the next life? Because you're going to carry on the karma from not sacrificing and doing the bad things that you couldn't give up. And so the next life is going to be like even worse. It's like, okay, it's a cycle. And then Kṛṣṇa gave us the human body, the body of a person, to help us, to make sure that, because humans are the most intelligent species, I think. Yeah. I think Srila Prabhupada says it. They're the most intelligent species. And like species on Earth. And so Kṛṣṇa gave us the human body to be able to have the intelligence to start sacrificing, to understand the Vedas, because I'm pretty sure if you're like a cat, you can't read. So he gave us this body, this human body, to understand, to make those sacrifices, to do all of that. Because if you don't have this human body, you just can't understand. You just can't understand it. And he was so merciful to give us this body to be able to understand what to do, how we need to do it, why we need to do it, how we should do it. And yeah, cool. That's my little meaning time. Now for contemporary application. What's that? No, okay. Contemporary application. What's a contemporary application? Isabela's got to think now. An injury. An injury. Okay, so we're going to use an example of a broken arm. I have had a broken arm in my life. Comment if you have had a broken bone. I don't know. So let's say you are fooling around. You know you shouldn't be fooling around. You shouldn't be mucking around. This isn't my story. I wasn't mucking around when I got my broken arm. Maybe I was. But you're fooling around, you're mucking around, you know you shouldn't be doing it. You don't, but you're not going to stop because you don't want to sacrifice that happiness. And then, so you're fooling around, you're mucking around, blah, 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 with that. And then you fall. And then, bye-bye, maybe you should have sacrificed. And then you get the injury, you get the broken arm. And then you're not happy, of course, because that's painful. Unless you're one of those people who, like, can't feel pain. Okay. And then, let's say this is a really, really bad fracture. It's like, bad broken arm. It's like completely in half. And it's like, ooh, okay. And then you manage to get it fixed at the hospital, blah, blah, blah. But that injury affects the way that you move your arm for the rest of your life. So what I'm saying here is that if you had just sacrificed, you could have not had that injury and not had that reoccurring pain in your arm, or like the debilitation or the disability for the rest of your life. But now, because you haven't sacrificed, you are not happy because your arm's like, you can barely move it or something, or you had to get it amputated. I don't know. And then what happens later in your life? Like what about the next life? You know, you've got that pain for the rest of your life. You're carrying that on to your next life, just like the injury that you got that was really bad, the pain and like the side effects of it, the effects of it, you carry on further later in your life. Like, so you can carry on to the next life, later in your life, you know, all that stuff. So that is my contemporary application. That it wasn't such a bad contemporary application, not my best, but definitely not my worst. Disobedience to a pure devotee, you have become useless. I'm not saying Jayadvaita Swami isn't a pure devotee. I'm not saying he's not a pure devotee. But I don't agree with his changes. Don't wait for later to be happy. Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. But don't wait for later to be happy. Kṛṣṇa consciousness is the way. You know it is. If you're like a devotee and stuff, like, and you get happiness from the sacrifice because the Lord loves you. I don't know. I do know, but at the same time, I don't know. Now, back to the disobedience to a pure devotee, you have become useless. Well, the thing is, I'm not disagreeing. I'm disagreeing with Jayadvaita Swami's changes, but I'm not saying he's not a pure devotee. Yes, he is an amazing devotee. Yes, he has done so much for Kṛṣṇa consciousness. He has distributed probably thousands of books. He has done so much for the movement. He is an amazing devotee. I will not disagree with that. But I do disagree with some of his changes because they were not authorized by Srila Prabhupada. who is Jayadvaita Swami's guru. If Srila Prabhupada said, do not change my books, and then Jayadvaita Swami says, and goes and changes his books, doesn't that say that he's disagreeing with his guru? And yes, he is a great devotee. He's amazing. He's stunning. Look, he's done so much for the movement. I've said this before. But he went against the orders of Srila Prabhupada, and you got to think, like, is that okay? You know? Yeah. And how am I being disobedient? That's my question. Because, like, how am I being disobedient to Jayadvaita Swami? Like, please explain that to me. Like, I mean, I sort of see how you could see that I'm being disobedient, but yeah, I'm not a pure devotee. So technically, I shouldn't. Well, I'm not a pure devotee. I know that. I'm definitely not a pure devotee. Okay. Don't wait for later to be happy. Don't. Because, like, if you have the opportunity to become Kṛṣṇa conscious, to spread the Kṛṣṇa conscious movement all over the world, to do so much, to follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions and all of that, you know what I'm talking about. Why push it back and be like, oh no, sense gratification first, I will work on Kṛṣṇa consciousness later? It's like, but you get happiness from Kṛṣṇa consciousness. You get, like, pure happiness. How do I say it? I don't know. All right, let's just move on to the Te Reo Māori. All right, 431. A best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? E te Reo Māori translation. E te pai rawa atu o te wakapapa o kuru kāhore i te wakarapa kaore e ora whai hari i tēnei whenua, i tēnei ora ahe aha i whai ake nei. Word for word. E te o pai rawa atu, best of o te the wakapapa dynasty, or of kuru. Kāhore, without ite, one wakarapa can never kaore live e ora happily whai hari on this planet, I o tēnei in this whenua life, I what aha then, I of whai ake the next. Okay. Well, first we're going to read, I will start closing up now. First we're going to read the Te Reo Māori, then the English, and then the Sanskrit, and then I will sign off for the afternoon. It's the afternoon. Usually I do my classes at night. It is now the afternoon. Well, technically it's the evening. E te pai rawa atu o te wakapapa o kuru. Kāhore i te wakarapa kaore e ora whai hari i tēnei whenua, i tēnei ora ahe aha i whai ake nei. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice one can never live. Oh, no, sorry, I'm going to read the Sanskrit first. Oops. Nāyaṁ loko asti ayajñasya kuto nyaḥ kuru-sattama. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? Okay, guys, I will say good night. Well, good evening. Yeah. Param Vijay. I keep on saying stop. I keep on forgetting to say Param Vijayate Shri Kṛṣṇa Sankirtanam in the beginning. Oh no. All right. So Param Vijayate Shri Kṛṣṇa Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. I hope you have an amazing